Hello there, my radiant souls, and a warm, heartfelt welcome to all of my magnificent Leos. Welcome to Cosmic Wisdom, the sacred space where we illuminate the brilliant truths of your soul's journey. I am your guide, and today we are stepping into the full, glorious light of the sun to explore the majestic heart of the lioness. I want you to feel this truth with me now. There are women who walk through this world with a regal quietness, a dignified presence that can be easily misunderstood. They carry a light so bright, a warmth so generous, that they learn to be incredibly discerning about who gets to stand in their sunshine. From a distance, the world, which often mistakes noise for presence and crowds for connection, might look upon these women and call them lonely. But my dear, magnificent Leo, you and I know a deeper truth, don't we? We know that this perceived solitude is not a sign of being unwanted. Oh no, that couldn't be further from the truth. It is the quiet of a queen on her throne. It is a conscious, powerful choice to preserve her sacred creative fire for an audience that is truly worthy of her light. Today, we are going to journey into the heart of this radiant mystery. We will explore the noble truths that reside within the soul of a Leo woman who appears to walk her path with a small or even non-existent pride. Each chapter of our journey today is like a ray of sunlight, illuminating a different facet of your glorious being. From the sovereign choice of solitude to the forging of a heart that shines from its own power, to the moment you claim your divine, creative purpose. You don't need to grasp every single word, my friend. Simply allow my voice to be a warm and gentle light, and let your heart absorb the wisdom that resonates most deeply. Because I know with all my being that somewhere within this message is a reflection of your own royal story. A part of you that is waiting to be seen, to be celebrated, to be honored. So if you have ever felt that your light was too bright for others, your generosity was taken for granted, or that you were performing on a stage for an audience that didn't deserve a ticket, then this journey is for you. This sacred space is for you. And before we step into this golden light together, if you feel that resonance, that spark of recognition in your soul, let's affirm our connection. Take a moment to warmly press that subscribe button, so you will always be a part of our circle of cosmic wisdom. And let the universe feel your beautiful energy by giving this video a like. Please comment below whether you have so-called close friends, and if so, how many. It is a powerful signal that you are ready to claim your own radiance. Now, if your lion heart is roaring yes, let us begin. Let us start with the most foundational truth, the very sun around which your universe orbits. A Leo woman with few friends is not a woman who lacks charisma or charm. She is a queen who has dismissed an unworthy court. There are souls like yours, dear Leo, who are born of the sun itself. You are here to shine, to create, to lead, and to love with a magnificent, open heart. You cannot bear insincerity. False praise feels like a hollow echo in a grand hall. Pretending to be less than you are, dimming your own light to make others feel more comfortable. It feels like a betrayal of your very soul, does it not? You live in a world of radiant, creative energy. Your very being is a source of warmth and vitality for others. You have a unique ability to see the gold in others, to encourage them, to shine your light on them so they can see their own potential. But this magnificent generosity has a sacred boundary. Your heart is not a public square. It is the throne room of a sovereign queen. And you have learned often through painful experience, who is worthy of an invitation. Your inner world is not a quiet, contemplative garden. It is a vibrant, sun-drenched kingdom, full of passion, creativity, and a fierce, protective loyalty. You remember every act of devotion, every heartfelt compliment, every moment someone truly saw you. But you also remember every time your generosity was taken for granted, every time your warmth was met with coldness, every time your light was treated as if it were common. These are not small slights to you. They are acts of treason against the heart. And because your capacity to give is so immense, you have learned to be fiercely protective of your energy. You choose a noble solitude, not because you don't desire a pride. My goodness, your soul yearns for a loyal pride to share your kingdom with, but because the company of flatterers, of energy vampires, of those who only want to bask in your warmth without offering any of their own, feels more profoundly isolating than any physical solitude ever could. You choose to be alone because after countless times of pouring your golden energy into others, you have received back only shadows. You have loved with the radiant force of the sun, only to be loved back with the fleeting attention one gives a candle. And so, after being misunderstood, taken for granted, or having your confidence mistaken for arrogance, you learn a royal lesson. Not everyone deserves a front-row seat to your life. Not everyone has earned the right to your warmth. This is no longer a simple preference, dear Leo. It becomes a sacred decree from your own heart. You would rather reign in the magnificent, peaceful silence of your own company than entertain a court of jesters. For you, this solitude is not a wound. It is your throne room. It is the sacred space where you cultivate your creative fire, where you polish your own crown, and where you reconnect with the limitless source of light within you. There are times a queen must clear the hall, not because she is angry, but because she is preparing for a new, more glorious era of her reign. Have you ever felt this in your soul? That deep need to withdraw, not out of sadness, but to protect your precious, creative fire. Have you ever chosen the quiet of your own kingdom over a loud party full of strangers? If you have, I want you to honor that magnificent, sovereign part of yourself. Let me know in the comments below by simply typing, "I am the queen of my own kingdom. I want to celebrate your reign." And so, when a Leo woman realizes that not everyone is worthy of her royal presence, she awakens to an even more profound truth. She does not require an audience to be radiant. But have you ever wondered, beautiful soul, where the unshakable confidence of a true Leo queen comes from? It is not born of applause. It is born of self-realization. Her true power ignites the moment she fully embodies the solar heart principle. Perhaps the most pivotal lesson a Leo will ever learn is this: the sun does not ask for permission to shine. It simply is the source of light. I have seen this journey so many times. I once believed that my own light was dependent on the reflection I saw in others' eyes. I thought my value was measured by the number of friends who celebrated me, the partner who adored me, the world that applauded me. I was dependent on that external validation. And every time the applause faded, every time someone turned away from my warmth, it felt like my own inner sun was dimming. I would ask the universe, is my light not bright enough? But then I began to truly witness the majesty of Leo women who had walked through the chilling shadows of being unseen and unappreciated, and had emerged more brilliantly radiant than ever. These women had not been spared the pain of disappointment. On the contrary, their generous hearts had been broken by selfishness. Their fierce loyalty had been met with casual betrayal. But the magnificent regal difference is that they chose to reignite their own flame, without waiting for anyone else to provide the spark. They realized in that moment of profound disillusionment, standing on an empty stage, the theater dark, their heart feeling overlooked and undervalued, that no one could truly restore their light but themselves, not the friends who took their generosity for granted, not the lover who failed to truly see their greatness, and certainly not a world that was too busy to notice their shine. Only they could command the sun to rise within them again, and in that stark, powerful, and ultimately liberating realization, their true sovereignty was born, not as a demanding roar for attention, but as a quiet, internal coronation. The silent whisper that says, "I am the sun. My light is not dependent on who is watching. My warmth is inherent. My reign begins within." Leo, your independence is not a wall to keep people out. It is the very radiance that emanates from your throne. It is your sacred promise to your own heart that you will never again source your self-worth from the fickle applause of the outside world. You will keep your magnificent, generous heart. But now, that boundless warmth is fueled by the eternal, self-sustaining fire of your own spirit. The independence you claim is not about isolation. It is the ability to walk through this world as the source of your own joy, your own validation, and your own creative power. It is the ability to love with a grand and open heart, without shattering when that love is not returned with the same magnitude. You no longer need a daily stream of compliments to feel beautiful, because you have learned to adorn yourself in your own self-love, to look in the mirror and tell your own soul, "You are magnificent. You are radiant. You are enough." You have journeyed through seasons of coldness, where you gave all your warmth away and were left shivering. You have cried frustrated tears behind closed doors because your grand gestures were not appreciated. But every single morning, you have chosen to rise, just like the sun. Not because you are arrogant, but because it is your very nature to shine. You believe, in the very core of your being, that you deserve a life filled with passion, creativity, and joyful expression. That is the deepest lesson of Leo. Not a fragile ego, but an unbreakable spirit. A spirit that knows, no matter how dark the night, it has the power to bring the dawn. Have you ever had to be your own sun? Have you had to generate your own warmth when the world felt cold? Tell me, what was the one creative act, the one spark of passion that helped you reignite your own flame? Share your story of self-illumination below. Because when you share your story, you don't just honor your own journey, you pass a torch to countless others who are sitting in the dark, forgetting that they too are born of fire. And then, from that radiant throne of self-love, the Leo woman begins to view all relationships through a new golden lens, a lens that no longer seeks subjects, but a true pride. Her independence does not mean she rejects connection. Heavens no. It means she is finally ready for the kind of love and friendship that is worthy of a queen. I used to misunderstand the Leo heart, thinking it simply needed an entourage, a group of adoring fans. I saw the natural charisma and magnetism and mistook it for a need for constant superficial attention. I assumed that for a Leo, any audience was better than no audience at all. But my journey into the heart of your archetype, dear Leo, taught me the magnificent truth. All my assumptions were burned away when I witnessed the standards of a Leo who knows her own worth. Her independence is not accompanied by coldness or arrogance. On the contrary, her heart becomes even more genuinely warm and generous than before, because it is no longer giving from a place of lack. She doesn't reject relationships. She simply rejects any connection that is not built on a foundation of mutual admiration, respect, and loyalty. For a Leo who has learned to be her own sun, a relationship must be a glorious union of two shining stars, two sovereign individuals who celebrate each other's light, who inspire each other to be brighter, and who choose to build a kingdom together, not out of a fear of being alone, but out of a joyful recognition of each other's royalty. Her self-worth gives her a kind of golden intuition. She can feel with absolute certainty who is there to celebrate her and who is there to use her. She has no need for a crowded court or an endless list of social invitations to feel important. What she needs, the one thing her great heart truly yearns for, is a pride, a loyal circle who will roar with her in triumph, who will fiercely protect her when she is vulnerable, and whose own light shines just as brightly beside hers. She seeks a gaze that says, "I see your fire," and it does not intimidate me, it inspires me. And even if it takes time to find that pride, she continues to live with magnificent integrity. Her generosity, her encouragement, her love, they are not performances to win favor. They flow from the abundant creative well of her own spirit, independent of who is watching. She is not seeking a relationship to get a crown, she already has one. She is seeking a fellow royal with whom she can share her reign. That sacred connection might be with a single, devoted soul, or it might be found in her own creative studio, where she passionately brings her visions to life. But one thing is certain, she will only invite someone into her kingdom when they have proven they honor the throne. Perhaps we have all felt this. Those relationships where we give, and the other person just takes, leaving us feeling drained and diminished. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt your light dimming to accommodate someone else's shadow? Are you willing to walk away from that, to choose your own radiant well-being over a draining connection? If you have made that brave, royal choice, please share that moment with us. I want to hear your story of reclaiming your throne, because I know in sharing it, you are showing so many others how to find their own crown. From that royal choice, the choice to surround herself only with those who reflect and celebrate her light, the Leo woman discovers a sacred space within herself. It is here she begins to hear the voice of her creative soul, the one that was drowned out by the hollow applause of an uninspired audience. And right there, for the first time in a long time, she truly sees herself, the brilliant, creative, powerful artist of her own life that she was always meant to be. Solitude, for a Leo, is the sacred spotlight where she reclaims her creative purpose. I used to believe that for a Leo, being alone was the ultimate failure. I thought the silence would be terrifying, a sign that the show was over. But my deeper understanding of your solar energy, dear Leo, has revealed a different truth. For you, solitude is not an empty stage. It is your private rehearsal studio. It is the sacred space where you get to create, not for approval, but for the sheer, unadulterated joy of it. When the demands of the outside world fall away, when you no longer feel the pressure to perform for others, that is the very moment you finally hear the true song of your own creative heart. In a world that is constantly asking you to be something for someone else, your solitude is not a punishment. It is the precious, golden opportunity to reconnect with your passions, to play, to dream, and to remember what it feels like to create something simply because it sets your soul on fire. There are questions so vital that they can only be asked when you are your own solitary audience. What do I truly want to create? What story does my heart burn to tell? If no one were watching, how would I shine? And when the answers roar forth from that passionate, creative place inside you, not for fame, not for accolades, but simply for the love of the expression itself, that is the moment of your true artistic liberation. Have you felt that? Have you ever been in the quiet, alone with your thoughts, and suddenly an idea so brilliant, so exciting, sparks within you? That is your creative soul speaking. I know the feeling of being judged or worrying if your creations are good enough. But what if, for one moment, you created something just for you? If you have ever felt that spark, I am here, listening with my whole heart, ready to celebrate your inner fire. True creativity is born in these moments of sacred, joyful solitude. It is from that very solitude that a Leo begins to do what is most essential, to turn her magnificent, generous warmth inward. To learn to give herself the same adoration, loyalty, and encouragement she so freely gives to others. This healing is a royal act of self-coronation. I used to believe that a Leo's purpose was to shine for others. I saw her as a celestial body whose light was meant to be a gift for the world. And while that is true, I missed the most crucial part of the equation. A Leo cannot sustainably light up the world if she is not first stoking her own inner fire. True radiance comes from the moment you decide to become the most devoted and passionate admirer of your own soul. The true strength of a Leo is not that she never feels insecure. Her strength lies in her courage to face her own need for validation, and then choose to give it to herself. She learns to be her own standing ovation. She allows herself to feel the sting of being unappreciated. But after the curtain falls, she is the one who goes backstage, looks in the mirror, and says, "You are brilliant. You are a star." A Leo learns to embrace her own magnificence without apology. She understands that her desire to be seen, to be celebrated, is not a flaw. It is a vital part of her solar nature. But she also learns that the most nourishing, most consistent source of that adoration comes from within, and from that fierce, joyful self-love, an unshakable confidence is born. A radiance that needs no external fuel, a warmth that is self-sustaining and therefore infinite. You have loved with the grandeur of 1,000 suns. You have been loyal to a fault. There were days you felt your light being drained, your creative energy depleted by those who did not cherish it. But then, in the sacred quiet, you touched something eternal, something no one could ever diminish. Your own brilliant, passionate, and endlessly creative heart. In that moment, you realize your resilience comes not from external praise, but from your infinite capacity to reignite your own flame. Have you ever had a moment where you finally decided to give yourself the love you were seeking from others? Where you celebrated your own victory, bought yourself the flowers, and became your own biggest fan? If you have, or if you are on that journey now, leave a message for your own magnificent heart in the comments. A simple, powerful declaration. I am my own biggest fan. I want you to remember, you are a queen, and you are worthy of your own adoration. And from that deep well of self-love, the Leo woman begins to see with absolute clarity that her purpose is to shine fully and unapologetically, even if her brightness makes others squint. Society often has a strange relationship with powerful, radiant women. It tells us to be confident, but not too confident, to be a leader, but not too bossy, to shine, but please don't outshine anyone else. This pressure tries to put the sun in a box, But you, dear Leo, you were not born to be a nightlight. You were born to be a supernova. You did not come to this world to play small. You came here to live a grand, epic, and inspiring story. Your heart follows the drumbeat of passion, and that is the only rhythm you need to dance to. Living this authentically is a revolutionary act in a world that often prefers mediocrity. The world says, if you want to fit in, dim your light. But you, Leo, you understand a profound cosmic truth. It is only by shining at your absolute brightest that you can call in your true pride and fulfill your divine purpose as a leader and an inspiration. And so, instead of dimming your light, you choose to install a dimmer switch on your tolerance for those who ask you to. You once tried it their way. You tried to be more humble, to downplay your achievements, to pretend your roar was a meow. But the more you tried to shrink, the more you felt your life force extinguishing. And then, one day, you chose to expand. You returned to your full, radiant self, knowing full well you would be called too much or egotistical. But you know the truth. You are not too much. You are a magnificent dose of courage and passion in a world that is starving for it. Have you ever felt that pressure to shrink? Have you ever been made to feel that your joy was too loud, your dreams too big, your confidence too intimidating? If you have, leave a message of royal solidarity in the comments. A simple, fiery statement, I will not dim my light. Let's create a bonfire of courage for all the magnificent souls who have been told to be less than they are. I want this to sink into the very core of your being. You are not wrong for being glorious. The world may ask you to be less, but if being less means you lose your joy, is it truly worth it? You deserve to live a life that is as big, as bright, and as beautiful as your own heart. And every time you dare to shine unapologetically, you are not only freeing yourself, you are lighting the way for someone else who is lost in the dark, showing them that they too can be their own sun. Once a Leo dares to live this authentically, she is no longer performing for a distracted crowd. For the first time, she sees her true stage, her soul's grand purpose, with magnificent clarity. I have always believed that when we stop seeking applause, we finally hear our soul's true calling. For you, Leo, the most powerful moments happen when you are brave enough to stand in your own sacred spotlight and ask your heart a vital question. What grand legacy does my soul yearn to create? In that moment, a vision appears, a path paved with gold. It is not the safe, conventional path of simply fitting in. It is the path of the leader, the creator, the performer, the teacher, the one who inspires others to live more courageously and joyfully. It is the only path that truly aligns with your soul, where you can live fully, passionately, and in harmony with the divine purpose you came here to fulfill, to be a source of light and warmth in the world. Life can sometimes divert us down smaller paths because we are afraid of the responsibility that comes with our own greatness. You have walked those paths, but the more you tried to be ordinary, the more your extraordinary soul felt restless. And then, in the quiet of your own reign, you heard that powerful roar from your core. Create, inspire, lead. That was your soul's decree. That was the moment you realized that when you are fueled by your own inner sun, you can finally live with a magnificent and unwavering sense of purpose. I want you to take a moment right now. What is the one big, audacious, creative dream that makes your heart beat faster? Share it with me in the comments. Declare your dream to the universe. I am here to witness and celebrate your vision. Once you see that path, You begin to build your kingdom around it. You learn to say a firm and gracious no to anything that distracts you from your creative mission, not out of selfishness, but out of a sacred duty to your own soul's purpose. And so we arrive at the glorious culmination of our journey. The Leo woman is not alone. She is sovereign. I used to see the solitary Leo as a tragic figure, a queen without a kingdom. But the magnificent Leo soul has taught me the most powerful lesson of all. A woman with few friends is not a woman who has been cast out. She is a queen who has finally taken her rightful place upon her own throne. My dear Leo, you are not lonely. You are being guided by the universe, by your own radiant heart, away from connections that would dishonor your light. You are learning to be your own most loyal subject before you build a new pride. In the moments of quiet, a new kind of curtain rises, one that reveals the magnificent inner kingdom that was always there, waiting for its ruler to return. It is a sacred journey where you finally see yourself with the adoration and respect you deserve. You no longer need an external court to feel like a queen, because your own heart has learned to bow to your spirit. You have walked through seasons of silence, not because you weren't brilliant, but because you were in the process of building a grander stage. And in those quiet, powerful moments, you realized the ultimate truth. Security is not found in a crowd of followers. True power is found in no longer abdicating your own throne. Are you in a season of quiet reign right now? Does the world seem to be offering you roles that are too small for your spirit? If so, please take this moment to honor your journey. Leave a final, loving decree for your own soul in the comments. Perhaps simply, "My reign begins now." Your heart deserves to hear this proclamation from you. I want you to remember this. Even if today your audience is small, you have never been without your most important admirer, your own soul. There is a magnificent Leo queen inside you, polishing her crown, stoking her fire, and preparing for her most brilliant era. The quiet days, the moments of doubt, they were all part of your coronation, preparing you to remember that your worth is not measured by the number of people who applaud you, but by the magnificent, unwavering love you have for yourself. Please, do not forget, you are a child of the sun. You were born to shine. You are not lost. You are simply preparing for your grand entrance. You do not have to be on all the time. You just have to be true to your own magnificent heart. Because a Leo woman, even when she stands alone, is still a breathtaking, awe-inspiring, and powerful source of light. If this journey has warmed your heart, leave a comment of gratitude for your own brilliant spirit. Let the universe know you are ready to shine, unapologetically. And if you believe another magnificent soul needs to hear this, please share this video. It is your way of spreading your light. You are not lonely. You are sovereign. And that, my dear Leo, is the most glorious truth of all. Thank you, my radiant souls, for sharing your light with me today here at Cosmic Wisdom. It has been a true joy to bask in your magnificent energy. You can continue your journey of self-discovery by clicking on one of the videos you see on your screen now. Remember, you are the artist, the star, and the director of your own beautiful life. Go forth and shine. I wish you an abundance of joy, of passion, and of magnificent, unwavering self-love. Until next time.